All right, get ready, because today we're going to take a deep dive into all things Gen Z slang.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say,
Time's
sometimes,
up.
yeah, sometimes I feel like I need a whole new dictionary to figure out what people are saying online these
I
days.
know what you mean.
It's like a whole new language. But
Luckily.
yeah, but luckily you've brought along some pretty awesome source material to help us make sense of it all.
That's right. We're going to be looking at this amazing guide to modern internet language
Oh, nice.
and really try to break it down. So,
Yeah.
it's not just about, trying to sound cool or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding, like, a whole different perspective. These slang terms are really like little windows into Gen Z's values,
Wow,
anxieties,
interesting.
all that fun stuff.
So you're saying there's more to this than just like, trying to keep up with the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So, like, let's talk about slay. Because on the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're killing it, you're looking fierce.
Yeah.
But you're telling me there's more to it.
Yeah, think about it. Like slay, originally it was, I think, meant to defeat, like conquer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then Gen Z flipped it, right? It's more about like owning it, achieving something with confidence and style. It really kind of speaks to this generation that is, all about individuality and being unique.
So it's not just about the win, it's about how you win.
Exactly.
Like that. Okay, what about bet? I see this one everywhere online.
Bet.
But I never really quite know what people mean. Like, is it a literal bet?
So bet it's almost like the ultimate confirmation. Like, you got it, I'm in. Even like, bring it on,
Okay.
It's just concise and it's got that energy of like taking risks and being bold. And I think that really fits with this generation that is very comfortable, expressing their opinions.
Okay, so it's like an enthusiastic yes. Got it. All right, here's one that always makes me chuckle. Mid. Like, that movie was so mid.
Okay.
What's the deal with mid?
So mid is basically just like meh, average, not that great.
Okay.
Maybe even a little disappointing. And I think this is actually really interesting about Gen Z because it kind of reveals that they have really high expectations.
Oh, interesting.
Especially for things like entertainment. They've grown up, with so much content at their fingertips.
Right.
That they're kind of quick to dismiss anything that doesn't immediately grab their attention.
It's like they have a built-in BS detector for anything that's not top tier.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Speaking of calling things out, what about ratio? This one always seems a little brutal to me.
Yeah.
What is, like, the definition of being ratioed?
So ratio, it's all about social media, right? And the power dynamics that come with it. It's when, like, a reply to your post gets way more likes than your original post. And a lot of times, it's because people disagree. It's pretty harsh.
Right. Yeah, that's rough. Have you ever been ratioed?
Thankfully, no, not yet.
Okay, good.
But, it's really interesting because it just shows how these online spaces have created all these new ways to hold people accountable, right? Like what's acceptable, what's not, what's right, what's wrong. It's constantly being debated.
Yeah, it's like the court of public opinion.
Exactly.
Okay. Moving on. Stan.
Yes.
I've seen this one used to describe those, like, hardcore fans
Right.
of, well, pretty much anything.
Right.
Musicians, TV shows, you name it.
Exactly.
What makes someone a stan?
So Stan is interesting because it comes from, kind of a dark place, right? That Eminem song.
Oh, right.
About this obsessive fan.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of used in this more playful way,
Right.
like to express really strong admiration, right? And it's actually become like a badge of honor among fandoms, like I'm all in no matter what.
I'm a stan.
Exactly, exactly.
It makes me think about those parasocial relationships everyone talks about, where you feel like you actually know these celebrities.
Yeah, exactly. And social media has really fueled that fire, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you can tweet at them and maybe they even reply, right?
Right.
And it creates this illusion of closeness, this intimacy that can really contribute to that stan mentality.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing, this whole stan culture?
I mean, it's complicated,
Okay.
Passionate engagement is awesome, but then there's that fine line, right? Between healthy fandom and maybe things getting a little out of control.
Right, right. All right, enough about obsessive fans for now.
Okay.
Let's talk about something a bit more, delicious. What about bussin'?
All right, let's talk about bussin'.
I've heard this one a lot, mostly in relation to food.
Yeah, bussin' is all about expressing enthusiasm for something. And usually it's food, right? It's like
Right.
saying something is so delicious, so good,
Okay.
that it deserves like its own hype song.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it kind of speaks to this desire for uh, these really like over-the-top expressions, like delicious just doesn't cut it anymore.
So the language itself has to match like the intensity of the.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. Okay, here's one that I have to admit threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Gat.
Oh,
What in the world is gat?
Gyat is definitely a standout term. It's usually a reaction to something very attractive,
Okay,
and usually it's used in this really playful or humorous way.
got it.
And you know what I think is so fascinating about this term
What's that?
is how much these platforms like TikTok and Twitch have really influenced the spread of slang.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like one streamer's reaction can go viral and boom, new word.
It's wild how fast things can catch on these days.
It really is.
All right, I have a confession.
Okay.
The first time I saw Delulu, I was like, is this even a real word?
It's a real word, don't
I
worry.
had to Google it.
No shame in that.
What does it mean?
Delulu is short for delusional, right? And it's usually used to talk about someone who has unrealistic expectations or beliefs,
Okay,
especially like in romantic situations, right?
got it.
But you know what's really interesting about this one? It's not just like Gen Z using it.
Oh, really?
It's almost like these psychological terms are starting to enter our everyday language.
Oh,
Maybe reflecting that we're more aware of things like mental health, even if it's, used lightly in memes.
that's a good point. It's like these terms allow us to talk about these kind of complex topics in a more casual way.
Exactly.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. What about NPC? I feel like this one's not exactly a compliment.
No, it's not.
Like, what makes someone an NPC?
So NPC is non-player character
Oh, right. From video games.
from video games.
Yeah.
And they use it to describe someone who seems, I don't know, bland, predictable, not really aware of what's going on around them.
So, like, they're just going through the motions.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, if NPC is a bit of a diss, what about L-take? That seems to be all over social media.
Oh, yeah. L-take is basically just a bad opinion, a bad perspective.
Got it.
It's a way of, disagreeing with someone or calling out like a bad argument.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting because it kind of speaks to a generation that is very comfortable with challenging ideas, even if it's just for fun online.
It's a more concise way of saying, I disagree.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, to counter that, what about just W?
W, that's opposite, right? Short for win.
Okay, so L is for loss, W is for win.
Exactly. And W, it's everywhere. And I love it. It's like a quick little shot of positivity.
Yeah.
Celebrating a win, no matter how
It's all about those small wins.
Exactly. And it highlights how Gen Z really values like direct communication.
Yeah.
Why say win when you can just say W?
I'm giving you a W for that explanation.
Thanks.
Okay, let's talk drip. What exactly is drip and why should we care?
Drip is all about style. It's having a great outfit, just an overall, impressive appearance.
All right,
That's something, makes you stand out.
got it.
And fashion is just so huge in Gen Z culture
Right.
that drip really captures their appreciation for individuality and confidence through their clothes.
So it's not just about what you're wearing, it's about, like, the whole vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on to vibe check.
Okay.
That one always makes me think of, like, someone walking into a room and just instantly assessing the energy.
That's exactly it.
Is that what it means?
Vibe check is all about that. Assessing the mood, the energy. It's like taking the temperature of the room, like you said.
Okay.
Are the vibes good? Are they bad? Do you want to stare? Do you
Okay.
want to go?
It's like they're saying, if the energy's off, I'm out.
Right.
Which, honestly, I think is a pretty smart move.
I think so too.
All right, now for a classic.
Yeah.
No cap. This one seems to have, like, transcended generations at this point.
Yeah, it has.
What is it about no cap that's so appealing?
So no cap is all about like truthfulness, sincerity. It's like saying for real or I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But it's got this like swagger to it.
Right.
And it's interesting because this term, it's got roots in Atlanta slang, but it's like gone global.
That's true.
And I think that shows how connected language has become in the digital age.
Like, slang doesn't have borders anymore.
Not at all.
Okay, this next one might be my favorite. Touch grass.
Touch grass.
It's so simple, yet so effective.
It is.
What does it mean to tell someone to touch grass?
So touch glass it's playful, but it's also like a little pointed, right?
Right.
You're basically telling someone to disconnect from the digital world.
Okay.
Go outside,
Yeah.
reconnect with reality. And it's often used to like call out someone who's spending too much time online,
Right.
maybe getting caught up in drama or just losing touch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we could all use a little touch razz sometime.
Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of balance, let's talk about shugi. This one seems to be about calling out those trends that are, maybe trying a little too hard.
Yes. Cheaty is fascinating because it's describing something that's like trying to be trendy, but it's actually kind of outdated or
Yeah.
overdone. And it's often used by Gen Z to like playfully critique millennial trends.
Oh, I see.
Like, come on, guys, get with it.
So it highlights that generational divide.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Okay, so if chugi is outdated, how about low-key and high-key? These seem to be about, like, expressing the intensity of,
Yes.
well, pretty much anything.
Exactly. Low key means subtly or secretly, while high key means like openly or intensely.
Got it.
They just offer these more nuanced ways to communicate your feelings and preferences. Like, I'm low key obsessed with this song, or
Yes.
I high key need a vacation.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. It's like they've taken these basic concepts and just added a whole new layer of meaning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And speaking of needing a vacation, our next term is situationship. That one always makes me think of those like undefined romantic entanglements. They seem to be pretty common these days.
Yeah. So a situationship, it's a romantic relationship that's ambiguous. It's not quite dating,
Right.
but it's more than friends. It really reflects how complex
Yeah.
relationships are,
Yeah.
Especially now with
Yeah.
online dating and everything.
Yeah. It's like the gray area of romance.
Exactly.
Okay, let's wrap up this section with big yikes. That's one always makes me cringe a little just thinking about it.
Big yikes.
Like, when do you use big yikes?
So big yikes, it's like the amplified version of just yikes.
Oh, okay.
To express like really strong disapproval or embarrassment. It's like you're witnessing a train wreck in slow motion.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like that visceral reaction
Yeah,
to something so cringeworthy.
exactly.
I think we've had enough big yikes moments for one
And
day.
I think so too.
Let's move on to something a little more uplifting.
It's amazing how many words we just went over.
I know, right?
Like, just looking at these slang terms,
Yeah.
it really is like a crash course in Gen Z culture.
I feel like we've unlocked a secret code.
Yeah, totally.
But I think the most important thing for me is realizing that this is about more than just trying to sound cool or,
Right.
whatever.
It's not about being trendy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really about understanding, a different generation.
Right.
Bridging that gap in communication.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, having fun with it.
Totally. It's like learning a new language.
Exactly.
And I think it's important for, well, not just parents who are trying to understand their kids.
Right.
But anyone who interacts with Gen Z,
Right.
whether it's in a professional setting or, online.
Yeah, think about marketers.
Yeah.
Trying to reach a younger audience.
Or educators.
Exactly.
Just, navigating the internet in general.
And like having a decoder ring
Yeah, yeah.
for the internet.
And it's not even just about understanding the definitions, right?
Right.
It's about those underlying values and trends that
Yeah.
that shape this language.
Like mid.
Yeah.
That one really shows how, discerning they are.
Yeah.
And how comfortable they are with, sharing their opinion, even if it means disagreeing
Yeah.
publicly.
They're not afraid to call BS, that's for sure.
No, they're not.
What about, words like stan and hits different?
Yeah.
Those seem to point to, like, the importance of,
Fandom.
yeah,
Passionate engagement.
authenticity.
It gives us a peek into how they view relationships,
Yeah.
technology, their identities even.
It really is like this crash course in Gen Z culture,
Yeah.
wrapped up in these catchy little phrases.
You know what else I think is cool?
What's that?
We can actually, like, participate,
Oh, yeah. How so?
Try using some of these words ourselves. Connect with that younger generation
Right.
show that we're, like, paying attention.
I'm all for that.
And, maybe add a little humor.
Okay, but I'm probably going to steer clear of, like, that for now.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Some things are best left to the experts.
Yeah. But I think the important thing is to just stay, like, curious
Yeah.
and open,
Open-minded?
about how language is changing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's constantly evolving.
It is.
And we can all be a part of that.
Exactly.
That's not about being perfect
No.
or like trying too hard.
Just embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace how it changes.
I like that. Yeah, embrace it and recognize that it can really, affect us.
Across generations, even.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
before we move on, I have a little challenge for everyone listening.
Okay, let's hear it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so here's your mission.
Okay.
Go out into the wild,
Yeah.
whether it's online or in real life, and see how much Gen Z slang you can spot.
Oh, I like it.
Pay attention to how these words are being used, the context, what it tells you about the person using them.
It's like a scavenger hunt.
Right.
A linguistic scavenger hunt.
I love it.
And while you're at it,
Yeah.
think about your own slang.
Oh, yeah.
What words and phrases
Yep.
did you use growing up?
Oh, man.
What defined your youth?
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
Gag me with a spoon.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. So good.
It's so funny to think about.
It's so funny how some of these have, disappeared.
Yeah.
Completely.
While others have stuck around.
It's true.
It's like language is,
It's an ecosystem,
yeah.
Some thrive and some don't.
But even the ones that fade away,
Yeah.
they still, hold a special place in our hearts.
They do. They're like little time capsules
Yeah.
taking us back.
And they remind us that language is about more than just the words themselves.
It is.
Right. It's a reflection of who we are and how we connect. Well said.
All right. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to sign off.
Okay.
Any parting words before we go?
Stay curious.
Yeah.
Keep exploring, and maybe we'll catch you on the flip side.
Love it.
No cat.
All right, deep divers, that's a wrap.
Ah.
Until next time, stay slangin'. It's funny,
Yeah.
thinking about all this Gen Z slang, it really makes you realize that
What's that?
how much slang is really just like a reflection
Oh, yeah.
of what's going on in the world at the time,
For sure.
Oh,
Totally.
can you imagine someone from, I don't know, 100 years ago
Right.
trying to understand touch grass
Oh, yeah.
or ratio?
Right. They'd be so confused.
Totally. It would be like,
What are you talking about?
yeah, like a foreign language.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you wonder,
Right.
what will slang be
Yeah.
like in the future?
100 years from now,
Yeah.
I bet it'll be
Right.
just as wild, and we'll be the ones scratching our heads.
Oh, for sure. We'll be so out of touch.
Completely.
Okay, so before we wrap things up completely,
Okay.
I have one final thought I want to share.
All right, let's hear it.
So, we've been spending all this time decoding Gen Z slang.
Yeah.
But what about our slang? The stuff that we used to say.
Back in the day.
Yeah, like back when we were growing up.
Oh, man, that takes me back.
Right. What were some of your go-tos?
Let me think. Okay, rad,
Oh, yeah.
gnarly,
Classic.
bodacious.
Yes.
Oh, those were good times.
And don't forget, gag me with a spoon.
Oh, my God, yes, that was a good one.
Right. It's so funny how some of these phrases, they just
Yeah.
completely disappeared.
No.
While others have kind of
Yeah.
stuck around,
It's true. Language is
It's wild.
like an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Some terms thrive.
Yeah.
Some go extinct.
But even the ones that fade away,
Yeah.
they still hold.
Yeah.
They're cute little time capsules.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
take us back.
Yeah.
And they really just show that language is, it's more than just the words, right?
Yes.
It's really about,
It's a reflection of us.
yes, a reflection of who we are and how we connect with each other.
Yeah, I love that.
All right. Well, on that note, I
Yeah.
think it's time to officially wrap up our
Okay.
our deep dive into
I'm ready.
Gen Z slang.
All right. Sounds good.
So, to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to not only embrace,
Yeah.
the slang of today, but
Mhm.
but also go back and revisit
Yeah.
the slang of
Your past.
yes, your past.
Have some fun with it.
Right. Connect with different generations.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate how language is constantly changing, and who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll rediscover a forgotten gem
Oh, yeah.
from your own
From your past.
linguistic history.
It's in there somewhere.
Oh.
All right, Team Divers, that's officially a wrap on our Gen Z slang adventure.
Until next time,
Until next time,
stay curious.
keep exploring.
Yeah, exploring.
And remember,
Yeah.
even though slang might come and go,
Yeah.
the connections we make through language,
They last.
they last a lifetime.
No cap.
See you on the flip side.